Hey guys, so looks like it's continuing to snow all day. So what I did was I left one long piece on the flat for each stand, and then I put all the 2x4s on edge and then screwed in on a 45 on both ends to stack up. This one I just left a hole because I didn't have a long enough 2x4 there. So now what I think I'm going to do, because our height is pretty decent here, I brought this sheet of plywood over, but it looks way too big, and I'm going to have to place it on top of this thing, screw it down, and go from there. But it looks like we're going to have plenty of storage underneath the bed, which is a bonus because I'm always looking for extra storage space at the Off-Grid Tiny House. Now, one thing I gotta do, I think I gotta turn this guy around because he's kind of got like a, yeah, that's better. So basically, I'm kind of out from the wall because there's the edge. I want to be kind of in the center. So these guys are kind of off the wall, and once I get a couple sheets of plywood down here, this stuff's fairly thin, so if I double up on the layers, this should do her. And there's the end of the bed. So I got this one here, that one there. This one's kind of like that one. I may have to move forward a little bit, but the only downer is I didn't plan on bringing my saw because of the shitty weather today. So I'm just gonna I'm just gonna record and lay this sucker down. And why I'm setting up the bed now, guys, is I gotta kind of set the bed up before I finish off the electrical, because once I kind of establish where my bed's gonna be, then I can go from there, if you know what I mean. Now this one has a hole cut into it because this was the master wall, I believe, on this sucker. I just gotta get out from behind it. Oh, there. Don't fall down there, Mr. Stand. That's way too big. But, oh shit. So, just got to straighten up. But this is kind of what we're thinking about. Grab the cam. Obviously I got to bring some of this over to the edge past the 2x4 here. That actually is not too shabby. But I don't like that hole there because that might split. But once the plywood is screwed down to the structure, that's going to be sweet. And then once the mattress goes on, that's what, another foot? And that's pretty close to the window. Not too shabby. So yeah, that's not bad. That is not too shabby. So I wonder if I was to screw that down, and then this edge is pretty rough though. I should zip that and clean that up. Probably this edge needs it too. So I probably can't do anything until I get the saw here, but I can leave it like that for now. And then I also have all these little, these are like heavier gauge, different variety of gauge of plywood that I can mess with, plus a full sheet. And I'm most likely going to be cutting up that full sheet. I got also these pieces here, and I got to use them up, especially that full sheet, because that thing takes up a lot of bullshit in the tiny house. But yeah, I think that's going to work. And you know, once this is screwed in, guys, it's gonna be a rock. It's gonna be a rock star. It's gonna be rock solid, especially once the mattress is on top of it. And then look under the store. Look at the storage under here. This is pretty huge. Huge. So I'm gonna have decent amount of storage going on. That is for sure. So if I move the plywood in a bit to the wall, actually, that's not too shabby. Now I'm not gonna sit on here until I build up the plywood layers, because yeah, I need that to be built up before, because it will split if I sat right here. I'd break that in half. But if I'm gonna have to build up these layers of plywood into a pretty heavy duty sheet, because this stuff, I think this is only 1/4 inch. Yeah, 1/4 inch. So I need about a shit ton of layers of that for this to work. Need some heavier pieces like this layered on. So I'll just mismatch it as long as it's, you know, even. And then the mattress will go on there, and we'll go from there. But that's pretty much. Now you see my marks. You notice my marks are off from the bed, right? So, well, that's fine, because that's just the edge of the bed. And when I'm getting into bed, I don't want to be driving my foot into a 2x4, right? Because that's just gonna hurt like a bitch. So I'm probably gonna push that middle guy back with my foot a little bit. I want to have that overhang because, you know, that way you can just flop into bed and you're good without a bunch of nonsense going on. But once this is tied in, it's going to be a hell of a lot more structural strong. But like I said, gotta wait for the saw and getting my hands on some more plywood here. So I'm gonna just mess around a bit before I get going here, and I'll show you some more.